How bored is this? You must be super bored, bro. You must be
ready?
A good way to test your own mental to see if you're moving in the that's the key word, moving in the right direction. Like, think of Sonic, right? He hits those posts, those goal posts. A good test is, one, to have that goal, these mini goals that interconnect, and they have to be sensation type as well as feeling, thinking, and intuitive. They have to be in your city. But a good test to see if your energy is correct. By energy, I mean inner picture. We all have an inner picture that's guiding. It's like our North Star. And it changes. If you're really chaotic, it changes a lot. If you're really deluded, it can take you to some very dark places. But on the coin flip, those deluded types, the extroverted, intuitive types, they shine the best when they come out of that prison cell or that whatever was locking them up. And those guys do billion-dollar sales, books, whatever. I mean, all types are capable of it, and you have all the elements in you. But anyways, a good tip to check your bow and arrow is, you're headed to your goal, the inner energy feels great, or maybe it feels neutral, or maybe it's negative. Remember, whether you agree with it or not, that is feeling. Thinking tells you what it is. Feeling tells you whether you like it or dislike it, right? But yeah, so you're headed to your destination, and what's the first thing we want to see in your energy is go park the car and stop right over there and stop thinking of your goal. If you stop the car and your mind is still going 1,000 miles per hour and you can't stop it, you are not in control, dude. You are not in control. You're under the influence. That influence can make you crash your car. That motion, that the fact that you will achieve that you will achieve this mini goal, whether you're 10 minutes late or not. The fact that, come on, bus, man, fucking buses, dude. The fact that you cannot do 10 minutes of disconnecting from the goal, meaning, let's say if that goal rearranges and, your plans change, does that ruin your whole day, week, month, You can tell if something's gonna totally destroy you when it, maybe rearranges, maybe it's not tonight's maybe not the night. And I'm talking about, this is especially work, if you're into your own work, if you enjoy your career. But if you can't stop the motion of your mind, that's a very feminine lifestyle, like extremely feminine. Now, a lot of guys who have no energy to get anything done, they need the motion, right? And so the question is, well, Zherka, give me the fucking Confucius answer. Give me the chink answer. Give me the, I love my Asians. Give me the Jungian wisdom here. And I'm like, yeah, I will, dude. That's what I was put on earth to do. You get it for free right now. For $4.99. Listen, go to my web. No, okay, stop. The guy who's lazy and doesn't get anything done, believe it or not, his inaction, his no motion, no physical motion, he doesn't even get to the gym or anything, Believe it or not, he can also be cured by pausing his mind. It's the same feminine energy, right? And a lot of people think, well, thinking is a masculine thing, and that's real. Thinking is a masculine thing. But if you're thinking of words, if most of your mind is just generating word after word after word, which is most people, I don't blame them. But these people have never done any self-contemplation. It's like going your whole life without knowing who the fuck you are, or what your brain leans towards. You know what your senses lean toward, but the inner column, the inner you, the inner picture, right? What is it really? Anyways, that's why I'm very pro meditation, especially for older guys, because I feel like young dudes have to do a lot of stupid shit and learn their lesson that particle energy is so real, and it's the only way to be whole, right? You can't, if you ever go sinless for 10 years, you're the biggest piece of shit on earth. Like, you're holding a dark shadow and you are not to be trusted. It's like a school shooter, motherfucker. Right? So, yeah, I thought I'd drop some off the dome psych 101. I mean, most of psychology, in my opinion, they focus on the wrong things, because no one can actually just be honest with, hey man, we want to get from point A to point B in a great state that doesn't swing too far low, too far high, and we want to be able to not go to that goal and still be content with who we are. And if we can't have the motion and the inaction, right, the pause, well, then you have no grasp of reality. And that can be a lot of fun too, right? Like when you drink whiskey, that's a lot of fun, but what are you letting go of, right? You're letting go of that control factor. And I don't mean control like a thinking control. I mean like from the intuitive column or the spirit within. That's a very different type of control. That's a control by letting go. So yeah, have the goals, but don't be a slave to them, because you're going to be doing this for 100 years, and you don't want to suffer like most people, which is a terrifying conclusion to come to. Actually, it's one day you'll be old enough to see everyone just suffering very in deep layers of sleep. We all enjoy sleep, but they're walking around in deep layers, wrapped up in sheets. Nigga. Go, but you don't need to be there. Let me tell you something. If you're listening right now, you don't know shit. You're a fucking idiot. The people that raised you are not intelligent. Your teachers are not intelligent. Nobody you know is intelligent. The people who know things, those are like your Alex Jones. Alex Jones is your peak intelligence, bro. That's what you're doing with your fucking life. And it's like, dude, but Zherka, you said this in summertime. You said that spring, summer, winter, fall, you're a fucking loser. Everybody listening to this is that you could be doing so much more. Today I woke up early. I go for a 5-hour run uphill both ways, nigga. And I'm thinking to myself, like, look at these people going to work to make their piece of shit paychecks. Not one of them thinks outside of the box. But how do you think outside of the box if that's not your style? Who are the types of people that even think outside of the box in the first place? These people are under a lot of pressure, right? That's why their head pops out of the box. So if you're ever wondering in life, holy shit, I'm doing everything I can, nigga, do more. And stop complaining when you're doing shit, okay? You can always do more. In fact, You should see breaking points as days off. Like when you break, you're that tired that it has to happen. That's a real day off. These scheduled day offs is like, first of all, why does the study end in a normal human's life when they're 21? And it's funny because up until 21, everything they studied is fucking useless. Right? Like if you ask someone, hey, what did you learn off the internet versus school? You know, as stupid as the internet is, you get a lot more out of it. Have you ever rabbit holed a certain topic, right? And you just go down at one topic and you look at 5 of the most popular channels on that topic and you learn a lot about that topic really quickly and you never stop and ask yourself, wait a minute, if interest made me an expert in this one topic from, you know, just making these 5 channels more abstract, more for the simple minded. If it's that easy for interest to make you good at something, imagine being interested in the things that further your career instead of being interested in going to school. Or I get messages from people asking me about college, like, bro, do you think this channel will ever talk about college? Are you serious right now? There's some of you guys thinking that I'm here to talk to you about college? College? Isn't that like the land of the losers, college? Like imagine growing up and thinking your education is going to come from the mainstream. Is there anything more mainstream than what the elites try and force on you? I have a serious problem with people that think their life study is going to be something in the mainstream. You know, you don't have one weird study you're into that you know can benefit the whole world, but no one's willing to pull it up and bring it to the mainstream. You don't have nothing. Well, then, you know, on paper, that makes you a piece of shit human being. You are a piece of shit human. You don't have one. I know a guy who researches cancer because someone in his family had it. And he's obsessed with debunking mainstream lies about it. He doesn't get that many views or none of that, but his dedication is pure consciousness soul. You can see the flame. It's awesome seeing this dude. It's like, that is a human being to me. That his personal life became global. Do you understand what I'm saying? That his personal problem, he needs the whole world healed because that problem is tearing him up inside. It's destroying him. It's destroying his family, and it's not even that big yet. But do you see how there's no mainstream interest there? It's not like he woke up, someone told him, hey, this is what's popular as cancer research or this, that. No. This man pulled something out of the middle of his thinking. Not his thinking upward, not his limb system thinking, in the middle, right from the heart. He said, this is what I'm maximizing. Which would be, imagine if the whole world thought like these people, where they say, I'm bringing this to the tribe. And I mean, dude, now with the internet, the whole world is very connected. You can easily bring something to town square. I'm doing it right now. Any human can bring something good to town square for people who need it. But all we get is gay-ass Joe Rogan conversations, which, by the way, if you listen to podcasts for comfort and not knowing, not knowledge, you're listening to podcasts for comfort. And this would all hit harder if I wasn't rushing, but I only want to do 2 hours today just to remind everyone, you guys are all faggots. Every single person here has some podcast they're preoccupied with where it's like, dude, you've watched years and years of podcasts. You haven't made one note in a notebook about those podcasts, meaning you're not even listening. You're probably in a fucking trance state, drifting off into fucking la la land. I know successful people who drift. I know losers who drift. And they're both faggots. Like, they're drifters. There's no continuity to their incarnation. There's no, you can open up a Zherka channel talking about anything. It'll always loop back to what Zherka's mission is. I'm not even talking about this incarnation. I'm talking about all of them combined. There's a theme here. And you want to listen to fucking Joe Rogan talk about whatever the fuck. I'm telling you, like, I can see loser in your guys' profile pictures. Like, I just open it and I go, there's no fucking way these people are hand selecting their feeds. You know, that's what the like and dislike button are there for. It's not to be a nice or a bad person. It's so your feed looks like the mind you're trying to build, right? You're supposed to play with it. It's very scary because you can like someone just out of sympathy. Like, here's a like, you little fucking faggot. You like their shit, and then boom, it starts promoting you all that slop from that side. And you're like, I don't want this. I was just trying to be nice. Bro, forget about being nice until your feed is correct. Okay? A lot of people think there's massive, massive knowledge and downloads they can do in life that will benefit them. You have never learned something in your life and benefited off of it. That's not how this works. It's always you're deleting something. It's something, maybe external, forced you to delete a style of thinking, a habitual pattern, a mechanical thought. Do you understand? Mechanical thoughts are what are insects. Insects are mechanical thoughts. You don't need those bugs in your fucking head. Zherka, how often am I deleting shit from my phone, my mind, my routine? Like, how often? Is it 1 week? Is it 2 weeks? Dude, this is like the superficial version of your moral practice of polishing your heart until you die. It should be a conversation with yourself every day. You shouldn't have to wait for these Twitter to spark up so I can feel something. No, you should be talking to yourself, but never listening to yourself. You don't need to listen to all that negative shit, man. And it's about delete. The only thing that should be within you to your core is things you brought from childhood, teenhood, young adulthood that is mega important. Some of these are not important to what you're trying to do let's say they're not, in a logical sense, they don't fit in to what you're trying to do, but they inspire. That's totally fine, right? Because when we're looking at equanimity and staying in the middle of yourself, when we're looking at true equanimity, it's always neutral, and it could swing positive, right? You could glow with positivity. A lot of people think positive is like immediately comes with a negative. No, you can master staying in the middle, being neutral, right? A lot of people who are too positive, they go up and down, they fuck their whole lives up like that because they start identifying. There's people who smoke a pipe and actually believe that they are a pipe. That's how long they've been smoking. They don't feel right until they light up that pipe. These people are sick in the head. There's people who play video games and their PlayStation so much that they identify with the PlayStation and now they're not even in the room anymore. And this is like a teaching that's not supposed to be for the masses, but you will stop paying attention to your own nose, and that's you drifting and identifying with a different part of reality that doesn't involve the observer. Anything that doesn't involve your third eye is fucked up and dangerous, dude. It could soak up a lot of your time. It is dangerous. You should always, every minute of your life, be battling to be an observer of your life. Even if that means being a lot slower. That's a total win. A lot of people think answering a question fast because your buddy asked something is super important. No, it's not. It's observing. Are you even present when he asks you a question? Or are you answering on impulse? And if you're answering on impulse, what else can he get you to do? How much time can this guy eat up? Right? And here's the interesting thing about consciousness is once you start seeing these things as flames, you can light other people up in the room. You can be magnetic in the room because everyone wants their eyes back awake. It might have been 8 hours since a working man was actually awake. He keeps falling asleep and he does not know why. There's never been a master in history that taught men this rule. This is something that the only people who go to the mountains realize this rule. But in polite society and in the big city life, you tell someone, hey, can you even see your own nose when you're talking? They'd be like, damn, no, I was unconscious. Okay, well, how much of your life have you spent unconscious? And why was the most important things you've ever done in your life under real consciousness? When really good things happen to you in life, you will notice yourself. It's almost like a backward kind of feeling where you're falling back into yourself and you're observing that something good is happening. It's not just something good happening. You're observing, why me? Why now? This is perfect timing. This is awesome. This is synchronicity. And you try and go to that dreamy state. No. Stay as the observer. It doesn't matter the empires, the money you make. Actually, most businessmen who are very successful, if you felt their heart rate for the last 30 years of their life, you would say that guy is a fucking faggot. His heart has been beating from his chest in anxiety. I gotta do this to keep my business on top. 30 years goes by and he's in a mechanical system that's working for him. That's why he's making this kind of money. But 30 years go by and he had sweaty palms, fast heart rate, no women, no magneticism, just money, just money, and doesn't realize, whoa, 30 years went by. I was unconscious. I was unhappy. But the system that I downloaded, and programmed my brain with, it made a lot of money. I am a success story. No, you're a fat dude in a tie in an office. That's what you are. What the fuck is that? Versus someone who breathes well, someone who breathes into their balls and can go to sleep at will. They don't have to stay up wondering what the hell. Wonder's a bad word because wonder's a beautiful word. Wonder is a beautiful word that people need to start using again, but that's not wonder. Staying up all night. First of all, 30 years of your life went by because you were afraid, right? You downloaded a system that made you money. You were terrified. You were terrified of what happens. Did you get the chicks you wanted? Did you get any of the lifestyle you wanted when you did this? Where's the true and where's the beauty? Because, we're looking for spirit in everything we do. Oh, there's no true and nothing true and no beauty in your life. Just money. But dude, money can make things beautiful. Oh, right. You were carrying the burden of having to make the money. Oh, you were not lucky. It was not just given to you, but if it was given to you, you'd be those rich kids who get no respect at a party because they have no drive, no hunger, no instinct morphing into intuitive energy, nothing going upwards in their nervous system. It's just fear. And you ask any boy, young man, whatever, hey, who do you want to be in your tribe? They'd be like, I want to be the hunter. Oh, what characteristics does the hunter have? The hunter is, he's not afraid, and all the women like him, and yeah, he's that guy. Huh. Well, why didn't you say the richest guy in the village? Why don't you want to be that guy like DJ Khaled? And a young man will say, no, I don't want that. Right? That's why most movies, have you noticed most movies you watch are about some broke dude who is that guy, right? And he wins over the lady. And he's battling it out with some rich dude who's just like spoiled to death. This is like a huge archetypal theme for many. It's like the relatable theme, but it's relatable. Forget the relatable part. Let's look at the dream oriented part. Why does this orient us in a way where we go, oh, I love that storyline, right? Maybe like Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I don't know what I'm thinking, but you know it when you see it. Everyone's seen it. And every guy identifies with it. They go, man, I'd rather be the main character than the rich guy in the movie or the whatever, the bad guy or this. But what they're really saying is these inner things you build, courage, respect, things that you can't buy, right? These are earned. These are things you build and then you have to hold. And it doesn't matter how many hours, it could be hundreds, could be, what are we talking about? Years of hours, all built up into a system of thought of a character you are building on Earth, but you're actually remembering with new abilities this time, self-remembering. And it's like, dude, we all want the same thing. Why are we pretending we want these? What do they try and get us to? They try and get us to talk about, running a casino like Andrew Tate or these guys, right? They try and get us into that, and it's like, nobody gives a fuck about that, bro. Nobody gives a shit. It's an illusion, bro. Now, that doesn't mean you should be a broke fucking joke, because let me tell you this, man. If you incarnated any time in history, where would it be the easiest to make money? Every human on Earth throughout all history would say, whoa, 2025 is easy money. All you have to do is trade it for time. Right? Like anyone can do it. There's not one human on Earth in today's day and age that can sit down and say, I don't know how to make fast cash and a lot of it. Shit, cash that I could just burn, do stupid shit with, and then get more. Every person's first thought would be like, oh, I don't want to put that time into that. I don't want to force the energy like that. I'm too lazy to do that, blah, 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 blah. But there's not one human who says, no, this is a hard time to make money. There's a lot of people who will complain about rent being too high and cost of houses and all that. And it's like, bro, that's fine. I'm not attacking you guys at all. I'm just saying, on the other side of the coin, bro, you're a lazy fucking faggot. Right? Two things can be true at the same time, right? The system could be corrupt, and you are corrupt as fuck. Actually, the system looks like an angel compared to you and how much time you have wasted. A lot of people don't understand that it's like, I'm not doing that grind channel advice. That you see that those crypto people on Twitter who do that? Fuck no. I'm not doing that. I'm saying, never complain about the spot you're in. We look at the energy level and energy systems that you do not put forward, and you'll be embarrassed. You'll be ashamed. Even if you're doing a shit ton of things, you'll always feel ashamed that there's others who just manage it better. And why? Because they put more thought into it. It means more energy. It means more love, more consciousness into it. I want to get some questions going because I'm only here for 2 hours, guys. But just want to do a community meetup and keep drilling in your head that you're nothing, you're a faggot, you're a joke. You need to hear this, okay? This is important. You're a faggot and you're a joke. You need to wake up from this idea of shit's happening to me. No, nothing's happening to you, bro. Nothing. You're boring me. Okay, what do we got? Man, it's a new person. But some people are convinced that I know the people that I let on here to talk. No, I put random people every call. Every call for the last however long I've been doing this, it's always new people. I don't know why people think it's, Zherka, you're endorsing this person who's speaking. I don't know who the fuck these people are. I just yank in random people and see where everyone's at. E-man, speak, you fucking faggot.
Yo, nah, I was dozing off. I didn't know I was up here. Yo, what's up? What y'all talking about?
Okay, are you black?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound black with your sleepiness, like you can't get your life together.
Hey, man, it is what it is, bro.
Yeah, you just come in here and say, what the fuck are we talking about? I don't know what the fuck's going on because I'm black.
I mean,
Is
yeah.
that what's going on? Is you're
I mean,
confused?
yeah, pretty much. I can't lie to y'all.
How long have you been black for?
Actually, as a baby, I was light skinned, but like, I've been black since like,
It's
I was
worse
like,
and worse. Light skin like Steph Curry?
yeah, pretty much. You
So
look at
you're
them, I
not
was like,
even athletic, you're like the weak blacks.
no, but as I'm saying, as a baby, I was light skinned, but now I'm like black, pure black.
Okay, listen, man. I like the Goku thing, but I'm not trying to get robbed right now, okay?
Dang. All right.
See, guys, you have to be mean to these people. You know, the most rude thing you could say to someone is, what are we talking about? Bro, we don't have time for this shit, bro. Like, you need to wake up. Reality is bending and you're falling, lagging behind. What are we do? It's like he's playing a video game, puts the controller down and goes, Yo, Zherka. Yo, Zherka, what did you just say? I missed your whole speech. You missed my speech? How do you, you're blocked, bro. You have to get blocked. Without moral progression, you are so fucked. I'm telling you, it's such a subtle degree by degree you want to go up. And again, just like how you build a bank account in your life, just like how you build friendships and, you know, social media systems for your accounts and all that, ask yourself, all the superficial shit just went into the toilet right now. If all of that just jumped in the toilet, what would be left? Like you on an island alone, right? How would you write down, let's say you had some homework every night of how your life's going. You have 5 years left to live. You wouldn't really give a fuck about anything you're doing. You would go right into Steiner's work. You'd say, okay, you know, I might as well get started. All right, there's guys like me who have always thought they're not going to stick around till 40 even, right? We go even harder. But you guys who are probably going to make it to 72 years old, a lot of you guys who've never touched drugs, never damaged any of your systems in your bodies, which brings treasures. You know, there are, going hard in life can bring early treasures, which means you die sooner. That is the trade-off that no one ever admits. No one wants to talk about because they're cowards. In every single esoteric community, the number one thing no one will ever talk about is that the guys who know what they're talking about are dying early. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. They don't know that stuff because they're high level. It's because they wanted it early. And it's mentioned many times. If you want this information early, you want your self-remembering process to be very early, it's dangerous. That word is used a lot, but no one actually knows what they mean by dangerous because most of these masters are trying to get you away from breaking into schizophrenia or like losing your mind or all the big stuff. But there's long-term stuff too. Let's say everything goes right and you're very early on your path. Well, guess what? You're dying a lot sooner because you start your path way early. There's a trajectory you're supposed to maintain. That's why a lot of people who go into a bunch of these communities of mystery knowledge, mystery language, mythopoetic language, trying to find which ones align with what? Which practices work? Who are the people you can trust in history? Why does every esoteric channel not like Zherka? Why do they all dislike me? Because I only promote Steiner's work. I don't promote any of their garbage. And they go, well, that's unfair. There's so much more knowledge out there. There's so many other paths. There's so many other people, and there's not. If there were other people to point to on this path, they would bring exact thinking with their spirituality. But we don't see that. We see dreamy mysticism again and again. So people always point to the fact that mysticism is dangerous. So yeah, if you're not conscious, it's super dangerous. Right? Very dangerous, because there's been guys who are some of the most highest level mystics on earth. They quit all their ambitions in their whole life, everything, to get dragged along by evolution. So it's not like they became monks. It's not like they did any of monastic life, which is a closed path. Now it's not really how you're supposed to do things anymore. Like, believe it or not, this is going to shock you, but who is closer to the truth? A monk, a Christian monk in the mountains that prays all day? He's trying to, clean everything he's done in his past, make everything perfect in one incarnation. He's going balls to the wall. Or someone who has mastered Steiner's practices but has a wife and kids. And believe it or not, the question always comes down to who is generating more conscious love throughout the day, right? So if the monk is generating, let's say, because he's in the mountains, it's a lot easier to do this without people bugging you. The monk will generate, let's say, 8 hours of love a day, versus the guy with the family and kids. Let's say he has 12 hours. Plus, when he sleeps better too, let's say, that guy would be shitting on the monk. This is super rare, though. You don't see guys with families ever go this far, right? But I'm saying that's what city life is. There are some of these anomaly type people out there that is really about that flame of consciousness, that love. It's who has that thing going out towards the world more. Now, the monk, another thing that he's fucking up on is he can't multiply that love. Because he's in the mountains. It's considered a selfish path nowadays, which is so interesting to say. Imagine Zherka saying that about a Christian monk. That just sounds wrong. Like, poor monk. This guy's doing everything perfect, and he is for himself. But I'm saying, if you want, let's look at like the highest level you could have. It's the guy who is changing the world, right? Consciously. That is the highest level we're looking at. So a lot of the highest level initiates and monks, they actually enter service to some greater system, right? They do something for the world. Now, that doesn't mean a monk on the mountains isn't like doing his part. Remember, he's doing the thinking part great, right? And his will is not, where are his deeds? He's in a fucking mountain, right? So his thinking and feeling is probably great and stuff. It's just the future is not going to look like. The future we're building towards is going to be surgeons who save lives, who have strong esoteric practices, and they're in a conscious etheric state of Christ-like love all throughout the day. And it's shocking that some people think that's impossible to do. Like, if you're listening to this, I doubt you guys have an hour of love a day. I don't think you guys, or look at JW, he needs a hug. Someone in his life needs to give him a hug. Like, he's generating all the wrong kind. He's just inward dryness. He's got all the deeds for himself and what he's trying to do, but the thinking and feeling are just erratic, right? And that's fine, because some of the most interesting people have erratic thinking and feeling. Some of the greatest artists who are suffering through their karmas, some of their best art is produced there. There's so many wins with that too. But when you look at what you're trying to do, if you want to look at someone who has a perfect system, would be the person who has balanced his consciousness life with his thinking, reflecting, etc. And usually you see these guys as surgeons. Their prayer doesn't stop throughout the day. They just keep saving lives. These are the closest guys. There's a lot of guys who are like, yo, talk to me about this Christian monk on a mountain, and I'm like, this is not like the fucking 1600s, bro. Like, we're in 2025. You better be doing something in materialism to uplift people. Like, you cannot be in a fucking mountain disappearing right now. And you guys gotta remember that we're out of the Kali Yuga, right? But this shaky start, before all the good happens, which is probably like 80 years from now, like all the really good stuff, it's going to be really bumpy. Like the first thing, and all my these guys who say all my predictions are spot on. These are not my predictions. I'm quoting Steiner in my quote. You can just look into my Twitter if you don't see that. So stop saying they're my predictions. You'll know it's my prediction if it's like there's a high chance that I get it wrong. But if it's not my prediction, it's the truth. This is what's going to happen. And I'm telling you right now, we are going to slip in the next 10 years into much deeper layers of materialism. You're going to see church people go way harder, but let's be honest, they're going to be outnumbered by how decadent people are going to live with this AI, with this not leaving their house, Uber Eats, no life contact with anyone. It's your job as a soul on earth to push people into systems that get people around the right auras. If you ever want to bend what you're looking through the spectrum of light and see auras, I really recommend stay in a church and you'll know what I mean, right? Any kind of movement you start seeing in reality, right, is you slowly entering into this etheric, right, seeing it. Now, at the highest level, you'll be seeing it as just blue auras coming out of churches, going straight up. It's magnificent because that's the first time you'll realize thinking has an effect on reality, a major effect. That's why it feels different to step inside of a church than it feels to walk around the streets, right? It's a different in feeling, in tuning, and vibration, and everything is affected by that. So, yeah, are they sinners in the church? I mean, all of them. Most priests nowadays are fucking up big time too, and you see a lot of Twitter guys who are, like me, I could be so much higher level if I just let go of social media, because it gets annoying. You get angry real quick. You want to say laugh my ass off every few seconds at some funny ass racist meme, and we're in that kind of dense materialism where you have to work with it and stuff. And also my age, right? I'm too young to be in this game. This game is for 65-year-olds, right? Those were guys who have like 40 years under their belt. And I'm way, way early, because if you think about my incarnation task, it has a big following with it. That means, my fire trials are going to be way more intense than the average guys, because anytime fame is linked to this kind of stuff, oh my God, it's all the minds that are listening to you fucking with your soul. And let's just say in like 10 years, I should not be on the internet at all. In 10 years, I should be completely scrubbed. Maybe I have one episode on a, documentary, Gaia TV or something to get more people awake. But really, really, I should be scrubbed off the internet and go into everything I'm supposed to do with no distractions, nothing enter. I can hold one thought for 30 minutes, but can I hold one thought for 30 minutes when I'm on Twitter? No human can. Not even if you bring back past masters could they do it when they start seeing how effective this mirror tool you hold all day, this phone, is in distracting and damaging and dispersing your soul. And by soul, I mean that's where thinking happens within the soul, so it can disperse those forces. Now, does this mean you have to, in a strange sense, yes, you do want to get more liberal when you are alone with yourself. You do not want to be veins in your neck like Zherka or JW, or you do not want this when you're morally progressing. It's impossible to morally progress when you want to kill someone, when you're angry, when you're, right? These states are going to fuck you up big time. That's why a lot of you guys don't realize you have a huge, huge advantage over me. Even though in 10 years, you won't even be able to do one podcast like me. You won't be able to push out any of the information because some of you guys are not remembering this stuff at all. Some of you guys are learning it for the first time, right? Or you've heard about it in a vague way, right? You'll know you're remembering it if you smile ear to ear saying, whoa, I don't have a big following. I don't have anyone who follows me. This is perfect for me. If you have no followers that follow you and you're, let's say, 20 years old and you're doing everything I say, within 10 years, not only are you going to think you guys are going to worship me. You're going to say, holy shit, did you get me started on this path? Don't worship me. Your job is to get other people. If you can get 1 million people to repost everything I post and not that other community that took all of Dr. Robert Gilbert's work, right? I don't trust them. But if you can get 1 million people, just like how you guys make everything popular with Aiden Ross stuff, if you get me and what I talk about with the people I recommend to you guys, if you get that stuff popular, which is a tremendous task, that means you guys every day of your life, karmically, you guys will be reposting, you guys will be sharing, you guys will be pushing it out there like it's your karmic duty. How do you guys benefit from that? Well, when it's popular, you will have 8 Zherkas debating each other on podcasts to listen to so you can see which path is the best for you. And look, I'm not those people who preach only patience, because it is a fucking, let's be real, it's like a 10 to 20 year game for most people. So it is a patient game, but there are many fast tracks. Like, for example, imagine you reading these books versus going on my Twitter and listening to this space. You guys go, whoa, shit. This is a lot faster with Zherka. He's talking about Dragon Ball. He's talking about Goku. He's making it easier for me to understand. Then you go to the literature and you go, oh shit, this is like child's play. I can hear Zherka's voice. He's like a good teacher for guys at this age range, which is great, right? That as many souls as we can lift up, that's great. Now check this out. If you get it, maximize it if your only job is to push this kind of content, your goal isn't just to make Zherka's content popular. Because if I want to be popular, I'll bring some chicks, turn the camera on, and get real views like that, right? Which we're gonna have to do that eventually, right? But talk about what we want to talk about, obviously, and just red pill people, right? On a mission to red pill the world. But you got to remember, if you got it very popular, you would see high production channels making Rudolf Steiner videos. Now that's where you really learn. With pictures, with everything, that's where you actually learn way more than with me. And here's the thing, you search up streaming, you search up video game, you search up any genre, you have millions of YouTube videos of what you're trying to learn. But you look into this genre of initiation science and you have nothing. You just go look at any offshoot media, any alternative source. Go look at YouTube. It's garbage. And the scary part is the only people who are deeply in this, and they're doing a lot of strange things like the anthroposophy people who are like 65 years old, graying in the hair. And they're like, they shot me a message, said, oh, I saw your stuff on Twitter because you keep tagging the Steiner thing, so it's showing up on the feed, and that's how I found you. And so well, I don't want to say her age, but she's probably like 50 years old. She said, and, I close my eyes in meditation. I've been doing this a while, and I stop and look at all the pretty things, everything that I see. And I'm like, okay. She's very far in her progression. She doesn't realize that she's not supposed to stop. She's supposed to go deeper in and keep penetrating through no matter how scary it gets. And I'm not going to tell an old woman, 50-year-old woman, this stuff, and she can do it in another lifetime or whatever. But It's scary that she's in a group with all these Facebook kind of old people, and they're trying to find their way to the threshold by themselves at 50 years old, 60 years old, some of them. And that's a scary thing, because it's like no one can help you there. It's kind of just like schizophrenia. No one's going to help you there. You want you want billions of views on this topic, because then you'll have 10 guys like me battling it out for what is the best system of how to approach it, and you are more safe. You are not safe promoting politics. That's actually karmically damaging you. You are not safe doing anything you're doing. You're only safe at making anthroposophy popular, so you can decide for yourself which is the best system to approach it. If you're convinced, oh, I just want to do Zherka's path, first of all, I'm not going to tell you about my private life, but just look at my outside life. Yeah, you can't even handle that. You think you're going to handle everything I've went through? Don't you want a better system to do it, like in ancient times when they'd have mystery schools that teach you with priests how to do this? Or are you going to wait till you guys break into schizophrenia because Fortnite's more popular? And it's like, you're going to see how big mystery schools are going to get. They're going to get so popular, but it's 80 years from now. The predictions are about 80 years from now, right? In 20 years, you're going to say a lot of, let's say in 10 years, you're going to say, well, a lot of what Zherka said is coming true, but I do wish it was more like 10 million people, not just, let's say 500,000. I wish it was, you're going to want more. Imagine there's Fortnite in your psyche dragging you down to hell. Right? You want to counterbalance that. You want this as popular as possible, not Zherka hanging out with women and all the stuff you're used to liking. You want this as popular as possible, so it's a better path for you. Doesn't mean it's easier, but it means you get way more spiritual buffs. You get way more power-ups as you go up. Or you're going to be terrified. You're going to say to yourself, wait a minute, throughout all of history, every single mystery center had a system of how to do this, how to actually fight the dragon and beat your mind and stay awake. When we sleep, we go fully conscious to sleep and do everything perfect in exact thinking with no error. But in 2025, how are people initiating? In the fucking Amazon, losing their fucking minds, jumping off buildings, killing themselves? And you gotta remember, all of the problems you have, like, oh, these women are turning hoes, and all of that gets solved with this. You know, if there's ever a truth pill to saving the world, it's Zherka's channel, but not the parts that are popular, like the women and the stuff. That's just to get the views, really, right? If we got the deeper stuff really popular, you guys would, you know, I've had many people crying saying, holy shit, I thought you were just some fucking schizo, Zherka. This is immensely important to the world. And I don't want to be those guys who, yeah, in 80 years it's going to be very popular and I'll be remembered as one of the forerunners who brought it. But I don't want that. I would much rather see everyone every day, 10 posts a day, everyone who listens to me, try and make it as popular as possible. You get infinite wonder too, right? You get infinite wonder. That's what you want in the world. You don't want to look at politics all day like a fucking idiot with being depressed. You want more wonder in your world. You want these mysteries solved. And you're not going to, thinking that just Zherka is going to do it for you is not enough. You want 10 Zherkas out there. You know, you don't want, you know, how everyone in politics just wants to be popular for themselves. So they attack every other political guy. They say, I don't like that guy. I don't like that guy. I don't like my teammate. I don't like, everyone just listen to me. I'm the opposite. I want 10 Zherkas. You guys leave me alone. Go, just disperse. Everyone go their own fucking way if you have to. Just put 10 Zherkas out there talking about 10 Zherka topics, and I will join you in chat. You guys will see me kick my feet up, and I'll watch the content myself, because that's how our day and age learns the fastest, right? Although we need some passionate speakers for sure, but I would love to have a break from leading the charge, because let me tell you this, man, it's overwhelming how much work has to get done. In maybe, we got 3 more years, you're going to see serious darkness. Like with Trump, the golden age, a lot of great things is going to happen, but you're about to see levels of despair that you're going to hate the political channels you follow. You're going to hate everyone you follow, because why? They didn't do anything for society, meaning you hate your world. You hate your own society. Now you get 10 Zherkas out there pushing everything I push. Now you finally get to go home and say, there's a part of the world that's changing right there. And that part does not fuck around. Does not fuck around like JW. Does not fuck around like Jay Dyer. Does not fuck around like everyone on earth fucking around with the finger in their ass. Have you noticed, you guys listen to my voice, you go, oh shit, he is speed running, this incarnation Zherka's going fast. Everyone else talks slow because they know they're gonna live till 80. They're doing this for entertainment, bro. These guys who just sit there on their YouTube channels and talk slow and Jesus is king, and they know they're gonna live till 80 with the same foggy consciousness. That's their game plan, and they're sucking you into that without you realizing. You're going to be stuck in matter with these people thinking, where is God? No, dude, go to the passion, man. Go to the passion. What is it? Many channels that talk about Christ all day, but they say stuff like Ezekiel's bread is about a bread recipe. Now, these people, I'm sure they mean well, and I know they get their rocks off calling me a Satanist, and you're evil, you're this, you're that. Zherka, you can't talk about Ezekiel's bread, it's just a recipe. These people, I know they mean well, so we cannot call these Christians demons, but are they not dragging us into the worst kind of materialism we've ever seen? You gotta ask yourself, where is the real church? Where is the tribe? Where are people dedicated to, if anything, if you're not dedicated to your fellow man, at least build the world that you're going to inherit again. Everyone instinctively knows here they're going to come back into the world. You're going to inherit a shittier world if you leave it shit. That's not how this shit goes. Humans get tired so they can go to sleep. They do not go to sleep because they get tired. They go to sleep. They get tired to go to sleep, because you will die without going to the spiritual world. Every night you go there. You understand? You will die. That's why people 3 days no sleep get irritable, sound like JW. You understand what I mean? Now, I get this question about death. Bro, first of all, you don't even know what's happening to you when you're asleep, let alone death. So shut the fuck up. Some of you guys are so out of touch, you think, is reality like a fucking dream? Dude, your whole day is made in the spiritual world when you're asleep. You wake up and live it. You don't know why. You do things, you just do them. Your will is asleep. In your metabolic system, it just walks around like a fucking dumbass, doing things. Then you get random feelings throughout the day that change you. These are like dreams, dreamy states. And thinking is the only thing you control. But none of you can hold a thought for 30 minutes. None of you can meditate. None of you can even let go of the thought. If I said, hold this one symbol in your head for 30 minutes, and you got good at it for a few months, I'd say, okay, let go of the thought now. You wouldn't be able to. You'd be like, oh, fuck. So even when you get it, you'll still fail. That's how phone brain destroyed the world, bro. You guys have your minds destroyed. You guys go on dates and don't know what's happening on the date. You don't know why she asked you that question. You don't know why you got nervous. You don't know what you're doing. You have a dragon called the mind, and it's dog walking you like a bitch. And I'll wrap it up like this, okay? If you do not make everything I push the biggest thing on Twitter, YouTube, whatever, friends, family, everyone has to go through it. Like, share. If you're not a part of this journey, well, you're not going to have that much information to go into the fog and face your demons, face the guardian of the threshold. And I don't want that for you. I want you to have as much information as the priest class did in ancient mystery centers. But it doesn't matter because you're going to forget in an hour. You are in a dream. You don't know you do not even know what you do. You're asleep and you can't stop sleeping. And I tried my best. If that was true, then what are you really saying? And have you thought it through? Because what you're saying is we all suffer the same. You're saying we're stuck, which is wrong. It's totally wrong. Now, as soon as I say, hey, there's man A, B, C, and D. Man A suffers the least, man D the most. Your first instinct will be, fuck, that's so unfair. Zherka, the world's so unfair. No, I need a more positive outlook. Bro, I thought you were more optimistic. And I'll be like, yo, check this out, man. You can go to his level. And when you're at his level, you'll be looking around in the world and realizing, oh shit, there's man D, there's man C, there's man B, and here I am, man A. That as soon as you see like, oh, wait a minute, it's not everyone suffering the same. It's like a video game. As soon as you see that, you go, oh shit, it's up to me to level it up. Now that is the butter of life where you go, oh, I'm choosing this level, this lower level. They all say the same shit. If you kind of dig into their psyche, they say, yeah, I chose this place. I chose this place that I'm suffering at. For most of the cases, right? And you got to remember, all the suffering you do in this world is actual soul architecture. It's really, really good for your evolution. I mean, it's essential to your evolution. And this world is not here to punish you. You can get away with things that you do wrong. You have before. It's not right. But this world is here to teach you lessons that you desperately want, because you don't desperately want that job or that woman or that. You want liberation from this phony self. You are in a phony state of self, and you need to be shaken. I'm put on earth to wake people up. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to keep falling back asleep, and I'm going to keep waking you up. And then when you go up and I get your emails of, yo, my life is so much better, blah, 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 that's you waking me back up. You see that it's still a team effort in this world. I'm a big solo player, but the world's not solo. So I'm not even solo. Nobody is solo. And you need to engage more with who you are deep down. Where the fuck are you headed if you're riding someone else's trend? Probably the same place that you're at now. Nowhere. What do you even gain You know, I'll never understand a hater, but I'll never bash one either. Every day you'll have someone tell you you can't do something, and they're actually right. You can't do shit. Like, think about it. You're listening to this, what I'm saying right now, because it has that hook you like. Someone told me I can't do something. The whole motivational video that you're about to see, where the guy says, people tell you can't do something, well, guess what? I'll tell you different. All of this obsession you have with this information, this motivation, everything you feel right now, you're about to get the advice from the fucking Twitter clip. You want it, but it's all based off the premise of you giving a fuck what someone thinks. It's like when people say, I did it to prove them wrong. That's a horrible reason. Don't you have family? Don't you have people to take care of? You're doing it to prove people wrong? It was like me when I was really, really into it in the beginning, and I'm like, that's mental. That's a horrible reason to get shit done. Like, I did it to tell everyone to fuck off. And it's like, okay, now what? You did that. You know, that's a horrible reason. If you have fantasies of vengeance, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I can't get over these fantasies of just like pulling up one day with a suitcase of money to my old boss's work. And it's like, why do they occupy that much space in your mind? Why am I the one talking about this when I was worse than you? I was all about getting vengeance. And now I'll run into, like, you ever run into an ex and realize the gayest fucking thing you could do on earth is try and look cool? Like, look what you're missing out, bitch. That's the gayest thing on earth you could do. That's a human with a soul. Say hi. You're trying to look like fucking Bruce Wayne. You're not Bruce Wayne. Like the Joker. You know what I love about me? That I got 80 years to figure that one out. I want to live 80 years, I've decided. Yeah. Yeah. 80. Now check this out. Oh, he said check this out. He said the word, check this out. Check this out. Here's the truth. Don't do it for your haters, bro. Don't do it for your lovers, bro. Do it because that's what you came to Earth to do. Whoa. You ever think of the things you do day to day? Why do you do them? Like, why does man shower every morning? Why does a man have to shower every morning? Like, what is the spiritual lesson here? And it's like, bro, we shower physically to remind ourselves that it's not just this physical body that needs washing. We need moral progression as we get older. And that doesn't mean writing nice things on Twitter. Like, a lot of people think being a nice guy is like moral progression. Dude, nice guys are suffering the most. Have you ever been nice with power? Have you ever been nice, but also, hey, don't push it? That's a true nice guy. That man is doing it out of freedom. But nice guys are doing it out of fear. And fear is suppressed hate. In this world, they love to say, yo, we're all gonna make it. No, not everyone. Only the courageous make it.
most courageous.
There's some people that you have to always see your mind as your mind becomes one with people you're in the room with. In the beginning of my life, it was my guild friends in my video games. Then when I had a whole panic attack on, oh my god, I'm a gamer, this is the worst case scenario, I want to be a super normie. I became a super normie, and then it became too much, because then drugs get involved when you become too much of a normie. And then there were criminals, that I was meshing minds with. And then the best mind I meshed with was Myra and Fresh Fit. And then the most fun I had was probably Mike. Let's be real. Like, when you do not mesh with someone's energy, it's the most fun you'll ever have. Kind of like people who date a toxic girl. It's still a lot of fun.
Most fun.
Yeah, it's the most fun. But, like, you look back and you go, whoa, that's a lot of wasted time. And that's why I never want to tell you guys, ditch your friends. Do not ditch your friends, but be realistic. If your mind does not mesh with someone, look in the mirror and just say straight up in the mirror, say, this is unfortunate. Like, here, this is going to sound wild. Some people don't mesh with their own siblings. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Where some people can be around their siblings, and even if they're productive siblings, there is something that doesn't allow one of the siblings to progress and get ahead in life. And if you've ever been through that, that's heartbreaking, because you're like, oh, damn, I love my sibling, but I have to be my own thing away from him. You know what I mean? Some people have it with parents.
I'm the closest.
There's some humans who have great parents who give good advice, chat, but the parents do not mesh with there's no positive mesh, even though they're trying their best. And the kid resents the parents for that bad synergy. And it's nobody's fault there. It just means your incarnation has to do with something very different. Very not what your dad wants, if he wants you to become an electrician or whatever. Right? But yeah. And I always believe in this, guys. You don't talk shit about people when you're doing really good in life. Because it's very easy to do it when you're down. But when you're up in life, your imagination and how you perceive people actually inspires them to change. And this is one of the biggest lessons, that if Reina went to bed every night, seeing me as just a normal guy who's never in trouble, in my heart when I'm asleep, I get inspired to be more normal. Like, not in trouble. And the way you imagine, tweak the world, that is you co-creating or co-generating, or everything's already built in the world of creations. But you, like, if I have memories of Reina and I keep imagining her like a drunk savage, she's going to continue to be a drunk savage. And this is heavily linked to imagination, and prayer it heavily overlaps. It's a scary thing until you realize, oh, Zherka, I did what you said. Let's say someone's mom was sick and he imagined her healthy in prayer, how you're supposed to do it, and then she magically gets healthy the next day. Your mom doesn't have a cold anymore. These moments in your life, when you realize how strong faith is, how it shifts reality, or it brings different holograms into your setting, these are going to be the biggest eye-opening lessons in your development as a human. And you'll always try and forget, because you don't want the responsibility of always updating your imagination. You have to. No human wants the responsibility of always imagining a better future for someone else. That's too much of a burden. That's why we always imagine our parents angry or our friends drunks and blah, blah, blah. But if you constantly correct in imagination how the world is supposed to be seen, you're striving for the Plato's best ideal form, you're going to notice some very terrifying, in not a good way, I've been destroying my whole life since I was a child with my dark imagination, or what we call in my secret society dark dream states. And these dark dream states you inflict on yourself. You're going to take a lot of accountability in the world, and you're going to realize, oh, that think positive crowd that makes billions of dollars and fixes their life, they're not just robots fixing their lives on some, I've reprogrammed my subconscious. No, they're actually better human beings than you. And the moment you realize there's better humans and better souls in the world, the second you download that aggressive thought is the second you say, I never want to think like an immigrant. I never want to think like a black guy. I never want to think like an Albanian. I never want to think like a Mexican. I want to think like the founding fathers of America that wrote how the mind is supposed to work. Every single mystery teaching in history always pointed towards, it wasn't always the white men. You know, in ancient India, Indians were the first white men, like they led it. And then it kept changing from root race to root race. Now we're in the European culture where they're leading it. But that impulse that they're leading is not fake positivity, which so many channels talk about fake positivity. Be positive for no reason. I think it's the other way around. I think if you can find a reason to be positive, even if it's a phantom, it will replenish all of your energy. And if you've ever found yourself in a rut, psychic stuckness in life, all you're looking for is to be replenished by spirit. That's all you're never looking for anything else. If you've ever been down on your luck, you're not looking for better luck. You're looking to be replenished by spirit. And that is always through imagination. And, you know, for the last 10 years, I know I've been saying the same stuff. There's someone who posted something 6 years ago. I'm on a Raj Patel show talking about this exact topic with some manifestation and stuff like that. And he's like, you've been talking about this long? I'm like, yeah, but I haven't been explaining it correct. And if you really want a clear explanation, meditate on why you have an imagination. Why can you imagine a better life for Reina or a worse one? Why are you given that ability? And is it just a fugazi? Is your imagination just what? It's kind of like, Reina, how many red cars did you see driving over here?
I've heard of that before.
You heard of
the
that
red
one.
car theory. Yeah.
It's not just that. It's a magneticism. It's not that you notice more red cars. They generate in the matrix for you. It's not you noticing. That guy with the big teeth, I forget his name. Tony Robbins?
Oh, yeah.
He's full of shit. As much as what he says is correct, it's not you noticing more red cars.
So you're looking for it, you're going to find it.
You're literally, the precept and the concept in intuitive thinking, read Steiner, the precept, the perception of a tree and the concept of a tree, they are literally matching as spirit and matter. Matter's the condensation of spirit. They're
I love
matching.
you too, Josie.
You're seeing the red car because you are pulling it from Genesis, from generation.
How cute.
I was like, how the fuck did you do that on OBS? What the hell?
Because I'm streaming on a Mac, but...
I was like, are we on TikTok? Dude,
I think we're a good duo. Because you're so on the spectrum and, like, I'm so chill.
It's so hard to take you serious when they're writing shit like that. I'm trying so hard to be serious for the last bit of it. I'm trying to replenish my boys, but you guys are fucking wild. Check it out, chat. Not only are we a good duo, but when I say W Reina, I'm really saying if she said, Zherka, I'm having technical issues, help me, I would say, get the fuck out of my hotel. That's how short my fuse is. People say, Zherka, you can make like 10 million extra dollars if you just keep going live. I don't want it if it comes with one technical issue. You might say, Zherka, that's up. You value your freedom so much you don't want to do a little technical support. 100%. That's literally in my DNA. She conquered all the tech support problems.
He wouldn't even open the computer. That's how lazy he is.
Yeah.
I had to do everything.
There's something about me, chat, that when it becomes even 1% of reminding me of my office job or work life, I get really turned off. You know, it's got to remind me of play. got to remind me of something normal. To me, normal at least, right? So that's good. That's a micro trauma. If you've ever had an office job, warehouse job, anything very technical, gets, yeah.
Oh, they're calling me a good Mexican.
Now, if it was the Reina of a year ago, I don't know how she'd do, but clearly she's been streaming alone. She's got this correct.
No, I haven't. You got me back into streaming. I hadn't streamed in so long.
Well, keep it up. And that's even more reason for me to hang around Miami more often, right? And there's something about this guilt-free, and I have no guilt when I stream, when I do something like this. But if I stayed in Miami this whole time without one stream,
then you would feel guilty.
As based as I am, I still lose a bit of my sleep. I do something really bothers me about that because I've been making fun of people who can't clock in an hour. You can't do an hour? I've been making fun of those guys my whole life. And the beautiful thing is, I know it sounds crazy, but the more I get used to, you know, her stream, Sneeko, stuff like that, eventually it becomes mine too. So that's the beautiful part. But something about helping friends is really good for my entertainment levels, my knowledge levels. But if it's ever helping myself, I'm really not happy. When I have to do my own stream and just it becomes like this greedy, I'm helping people, but I'm benefiting. When there's zero benefit, it's Sneeko's channel, Mike's channel, Reina's channel, someone just using me. I get off on that shit. There's something so magnetic about that because I've always felt so useless. You don't know my background. I used to... Chat, have you ever felt useless to the world? So when you learn something, let's say streaming, you get good at something, all you want to do is do the master side of it, the mastery. I will. She's my pupil. She's my pupil. I'm the master. That's the best part of life.
It's kind of like those broken girls that, you know, they just get used for their body, but they feel so happy because it's like, oh my God, he's using me for my body.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean,
that must mean I'm hot.
Now I'm getting fucked in the back if your imagination, chat. But I'm telling you right now, I always say people need to approach me better. Okay? Everyone's always pushing things in my face. Zherka, do this for your stream. When have you ever seen Zherka do that? You want to get at me through Sneeko, Reina, Heel Mikes, and those kind of angles, because it's like a golden retriever. I'm not a I love golden retrievers, but I'm those service dogs, right? You know, I want to be there for the homies. And another thing, chat, it also kills this responsibility of having a sound stream, which I like that the burden's on her. If you don't like the audio, it's her fault.
They just said mic is too low.
Yeah, I jack off to that. I love that part. That's the shadow of it. So it's not all to be a good guy. It's more like the responsibility as well. That's a piece of it.
Yes.
And as I was saying, we're going to do I'm not going to lie. I have been avoiding...
You guys want me in a G-string? Are you crazy?
Zherka, she better be paying you. Oh, she is, man. She's paying me a lot of money right now. Like, it's ridiculous. You would never think Reina's the type.
How to ask for a loan. That's how much.
Yeah. Now, chat, if I could have one wish, it would be to have 10 friends that into streaming. And I hate when you guys say, what about Jack Doherty? You know, especially at my age, I don't really feel like chilling with Jack Doherty. It's nice to launch a website with Jack Doherty.
He's my age.
Well, you know, his attitude and stuff is immature, so I like launching my website with his girls, but I don't really want to be around that. But I do want to do one stream for old time's sake, as long as Reina and Steve, or someone I know has to be there. And if I don't like the Jack Doherty thing, then I can easily balance it out with the...
Would you ever do it in real life stream again? Like by yourself, like here in Miami walking around? Or you're not looking for that type of like confrontation?
If I had my American citizenship, I'd do it today. If I had citizenship and I didn't get stopped at the border a lot.
Yeah.
I would, if I was an American like you, I would milk. You know, you cannot be banned from America. You're legit. You can go on the streets and do whatever the fuck you want right now.
Yeah, I can't be banned, but I can be killed. And I can fucking, something really bad can happen to me.
Yeah, but...
That's why I don't do it. Because I'm scared of, like, the crazies. And people, obviously, are not okay. And I have a lot of haters, too, that hate me.
You gotta see it from my point of view.
And why would I let them know where I'm at a live time? It's like, look at all the rappers that have died and shit. Like, people, when they drop their location.
You know what's the interesting thing about IRL is nobody has ever done IRL consistently. Neon literally quit. He sucked at it. Now he does whatever he can get his hands on. Aiden, he was doing great in the beginning. Do you remember when Aiden 2022? It was really good content, and then he just couldn't do it anymore. Sneeko cannot do it anymore. No IRL guy keeps going. There's something about IRL that it just has to stop. But I think if you have, let's say I had 10 Reinas, 10 Sneekos in Miami, I would want to evolve IRL into, instead of crashing connection and all this stupid shit, I would evolve it into everyone just has dinner together. And the interesting characters get put into one group. Like, you squish them into the couch, like some episode of Friends or whatever. That to me would be the evolution of IRL, where stupid shit can happen, but there's no connection issue and a lot less legal issues with police and stuff like that. And also, there's something really cringe about being approached by fans. I've never had a bad experience with a fan. Even today, those two British guys, I was like, you're supposed to be on HS's side. They're like, no, we are, but you're cool too. They want a photo and stuff. I thought they'd do that to do some funny shit. I've never had a bad experience with anyone I met, from the stream. Yeah. But I'll tell you this, it just takes one. It takes one bad experience, and oh my God, the worst experience you'll have is coming into the border, into America, and they look at your profile and they say, Zherka is the reason Trump is president. He got his whole following to vote for Trump. This guy's a diehard Trump guy, and they still give me a hard time. I was like, bro, do not ask me all these questions when I'm the one who was with Trump during the 4 years of Biden. Do not ask me about political questions at all. But imagine I had some legal issue. That would be torment. And to her, to you guys, it's not a big deal because you didn't grow up saying, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be America. That's why when Reina's with me, if her friend said, what's Zherka like, she wouldn't be able to describe me. But in her head, she's thinking, he's literally the USA. All America is crazy. Zherka is crazy. I love America. And I up, 5 years ago, my chat said, why not just apply for a passport? You'll get it like that.
Yeah.
Especially as a Canadian, right? I never did it out of laziness. And that is the biggest mistake I ever make. But also, for stretching our dollar. You know how Andrew Tate went to Romania so he could feel like he's rich?
Mm-hmm.
I really think that is the move. If Zherka, like my budget here will be $10,000 a month, $12,000 maximum on a nice place.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that impressive. I can get a penthouse again. It's not that impressive. But if I go somewhere cheaper,
like the mansion on the mountain.
$12,000 a month. If I go to somewhere cheaper around the world, right? Somewhere that's not that bad, hopefully. I'll have horses for Reina, for Sneeko. Everyone will have a horse for the IRL content. There will be a lot extra shit going on. So I'm like, why
a horse? For what?
Would today's stream be better if you showed up in a horse, like walked in here?
Yeah.
That's what money does in other countries. In the US, you could never get a horse. There's laws and shit. I'm telling you, I have to find a home base, and this is what Endless Summer for me is. Endless Summer is find a home base that's not third world, but it's basically, you know how they say you can live like a king with $3,000 a month in Thailand?
Yeah.
And I always say to them, okay, what about $12,000 a month? And they say to me, you won't need that much. I say, no. The whole point is we spend it so the camera has extra features.
Mm-hmm.
There's better shit, just a higher level of production. And people are like, no, you can't do that in Thailand. There's like a limit. There's 5,000 max. I'm like, what? That's poor as shit. If I go Brazil, Mexico City. I will find a place, a compound.
Stay away from Mexico right now.
Yeah, everyone keeps telling me, they're like, you really want the Mexican, but really, it's not worth.
Don't go to Mexico.
It's that dangerous.
I'm
Mexico City. I guarantee you, if we go to Mexico City, there's people way more rich than us. We're gonna be the nice parts of Mexico City.
No.
But chat, if you guys help me find a place, Barbados, I don't give a fuck where it is. Just you have to make me stretch the dollar into something worth content, right? Something worth content, because when you guys are telling me just stay in Miami, get a stripper pole in a penthouse, we've done that. It was good, but it wasn't that great.
I think we need to get like a good group, a good 5 or 6 people, and then just do travel content.
Well, here's the beautiful part about humans. They're so weird that if I go alone and build that mansion, they just show up. Have you noticed how people show up when shit's going? But if you go to people one-on-one and you say, come with me,
they'll be like, no.
Yeah, they're going to be like, Zherka's going to ditch, Zherka's going to, shit like that, like Sneeko says about me. But if I go build it myself, and then you see 1 e-girl, 2 e-girls, 3 reality show, that will be popping, right? And the beautiful part about this move I'm making, Chad, is most of the people who want to come don't even want to be on camera. They want to help me behind the scenes, just friends, like friendship shit.
Guys, we could do TTS. I have TTS.
Hell yeah.
Next time I'll bring my speaker.
And Chad, I don't want to say reality show like where we force drama. I think people should just drink alcohol and drama naturally occurs. I think it should be something organic, and I don't want it to be cartoony. I want people to turn on the channel and laugh. And a lot of people get confused why, Zherka, if you talk about Christian mysticism, how come you overshadow that with your trolling? Dude, trolling to me is massively important for my incarnation. You have no idea how important it is that I make humans laugh. It's way big. And if you've ever noticed, it heals me too. You know what I mean? You can get very rigid if you stay. That's why I'm saying it's got to be funny. There's got to be funny. Reina,
would you ever consider doing like a stand-up skit?
Dude, I've been
at least
approached.
Like a 20-minute short skit. I think you could pull it off.
Joe Rogan's friends, like 4 of those top comedians have contacted me, and they're like, you've wasted your whole life. You should have skipped everything you did and gone into comedy. And I've never seen myself as a comedian. Ever. I use it as to say crazy shit on Twitter, but I've never.
I can genuinely, and this isn't even me glazing, I could genuinely see you selling out comedy shows. Fuck yeah. You have the fan base. People love what you say. I mean, look at Theo Vaughn. Yeah. Theo's funny. Huge now.
Theo's funny. I had one really good comedian. Is it Sam Tripoli? And there's this one guy who said to me, do not go in with a routine. You're Zherka. Do crowd work and roast their faces. Everything you don't like about someone's face. And I said, that is... my mom would hate that. She'd be like, that's just cruel.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people love that. There's even a restaurant concept in Texas. I don't know if it's here in Florida, but it's called Dick's. You pay money to go and get, like, bullied. The waiters and the servers are, like, mean to you. Yeah. So,
something like that. And I've noticed that when I'm really cruel, even my nephew, like, will chase me around laughing. Humans like that cruelty aspect to it. But Chad, I'm telling you right now,
you have to think bigger, Zherka. That's the thing. Like, if people pay you money to, like, have a one-on-one segment about whatever, like, you really think they won't pay tickets to go and see you live and make fun of some people? They will.
But Reina,
and that's an experience for them too.
The number one thing that has to happen is
you would sell it. You would sell the ticket.
The first thing that has to happen is that I have to actually, before any human on earth, me myself, I have to see myself as a comedian. I've never entertained that thought once in my life. But dude, I'm telling you right
now. See it.
No, when I look at Joe Rogan's career, like, he's like 45, made 100 million around that age. Dude, I'm hella young in this game. If you look at every influencer has to fail because, influencing gets boring eventually. But if you are in this space called podcasting, you have $100 million waiting for you. But if you're good at it, everyone can podcast. But if someone says that's what you're good at, I remember talking to Bradley Martin about that, where he's like, I was pretty much saying how out of all influencer skills you can have, you know, you do a magic trick, whatever, the one that pays the most is Bradley's. Yeah, podcast. It is
like interviewing people, having them on.
It's solving loneliness. It really solves it. You know.
Wait, what do you mean solving loneliness?
That's why I used to think people podcast for information. 99% of the reason people watch a podcast is they're lonely. Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. And I watch podcasts too, so I'm like, yeah, that's true. But the future is going to be podcasting. But I don't think, like, I'll say this right now: 90% of these podcasts we listen to, I don't think they're going to make it. They got like a 2-year shelf life, right? They are not going to make it. So that's why, Reina, that stuff you did with me in the beginning, where we're just podcasting topics, that's good. You have that skill set. That's the only thing that has to sharpen. Everything else is like, you can learn a magic trick. You can do a bunch of other things. You could be funny, but if you understand like I remember thinking heel mic. I'm like, I know this guy personally, so I know he can be very funny. But can he podcast? And we had a podcast going. Do you remember that? You canceled on one episode last year. I remember saying it's going nowhere, but I want to see if humans can evolve. Like, can Mike become a podcaster? I've seen humans evolve. Yeah, I've seen it happen. But it's like, that's asking for too much. Some people are just, Mike's more of an entertainment kind of guy.
But this is the thing. You're saying, Mike, this, that, everyone else. What about you? Shut up about everyone else. Stop making excuses. You do it. You start your own show. You start your own podcast. You make that house, whatever it is that you want to do it.
But here's the thing.
You have a bunch of supporters that support anything you do. They want to see your content.
Look where I'm at.
And you're like sleeping on that.
Reina, look where I'm at in my life. I still don't have a destination I've decided to live at. That's really bad.
You don't have a home.
You can never be a podcast anything if you haven't decided where you want to live. And everyone telling me start in Thailand, something about Thailand I hate. I've never been there, but I don't want to do that. But they're showing me, hey, $12,000 a month, you're going to have a castle for your podcast. That's great. I want to start it correct. I want to, not just a red curtain, not the red curtain.
You kind of have a point, but at the end of the day, it's still an excuse. Because when you really want to do something, it doesn't you can be outside in the street, just Wi-Fi, a phone, anything, and you'll make the content, you'll make the podcast. Like, nothing is stopping you. The only thing stopping you is yourself.
Start in Miami,
no
LA, New York. Go. Miami, LA, or New York. Where would you start? If you could
Miami.
No, you're saying that because you live here. If you could pick, where would you start? It's harder than it looks, bro.
I would pick Miami because I live here. Yeah.
Okay, if you couldn't pick Miami, where would you pick? It's a lot tougher to decide.
New York, LA, it doesn't matter.
You have to put your bags down and live there.
No, it's because this is what you're not understanding. You have gone through the impossible door, which is get a fan base. You have that, and it's like, you don't want to do anything with that. People have all the dreams, but they don't have the fans. So it's like they have the perfect equipment, the home, but no viewers. You have the viewers that want to watch your content, but you're like, well, I don't have a home. Well, I don't have the...
We got to decide on a home, chat. Like, I really have fantasies of what if I decided Barbados? Then I can fly in all of Miami. And it's a business expense. I just bring, on my dime. That's great. And think about and like Steiner talks about that when humans, this is going to blow some of you guys away. Some humans, let's say Australians, when they come to America, they start doing rowdy shit. Or Chinese people, they come to America, they're for the most part good, but some of them get electrically charged by the earth, the soil, the American soil. And Steiner says that's not a blood quality of like the American spirit. It has to do something with that, but there's something in the soil that makes Americans way more electric than British people.
Yeah.
And so the soil you pick and the stars that are above aligned is huge to your future. So don't pick the wrong soil. For me, America's I lived in America for 2 weeks and I popped off. American dream came true in the first 10 days. And that blew me away because I love America. But that blew me away how it can also destroy you, that electricity, that American charge, where, well, Reina hasn't really been through it like that. I feel like you've had a stable last 5 years. But I'm telling you right now, Chad, when we decide on a location, that's all that has to happen. And you don't know how I cannot be distracted when I decide on I can be distracted back home, but not here, right? That's why every time I'm in Miami, in 2 days, we did 2 streams. Is Zherka lazy? It's not a laziness. We're literally choosing targets. If I want to shoot arrows, I don't want to do it underwater. I want to do it in American soil or Barbados or something. The soil matters. And once we start, we can't just pick up and leave. I hate people who just quit.
Yeah, no.
So once we start, it can't be Thailand or anywhere far away, and it's got to be around this Caribbean water. It has to be around this shit. But I'm telling you, Chad, the one thing I've never done in my life, you know how they talk about networking? Technically, for someone like me, it's actually good. If I had 10 Reinas, 10 Sneakos, or 5 Reinas, 5 Sneakos, dude, you guys would be... I remember when I was around Jack Doherty, people were like, why are you around that kid? I'm like, there's 10 cameras on me. If there's 10 cameras on me, I can't lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so people are like, wow, so you just saw Jack Doherty as a camera system? I'm like, yeah, and I was making $11,000 a day off that. You know, well, I should have charged you more. But I'm telling you right now, Chat, I solved my money problems a long time ago. I solved every problem, but I've never solved my friendship problem. You know, I got Sneeko, I got Reina, and all the friends that I love are really shady people, so they're never going to be on camera. So I just need more normal friends. And by normal, I mean people who see the future as the internet. Clearly, Reina sees like the internet as a gold mine, or else she wouldn't waste her time. She sees that it's worth it to sacrifice a Saturday night for this, right? And so she's got vision. Same with Heel Mike. He doesn't just go party on a Saturday night, he'll go live. Yeah. There's people who don't want to have fun unless there's a future with it.
Yeah.
I love those kind of people. I love that energy. So we just got to pick, and worst case scenario, we just, do something for a couple of months in Miami.
I think what you have going on right now, and I'm not trying to point fingers, but you're doing it to yourself, and you're creating resistance.
Yeah.
And your energy that wants to flow, and like, almost see it as if like God, right, the universe, whatever, has all these big plans for you. Bright future. The comedian, selling out shows, traveling the world, this and that, and you yourself are putting a mental block and creating resistance because, well, I don't have a home. You're creating a problem that doesn't exist.
Farina, the last time I said this is my home, LA, in 2 weeks, international fame. When I say this is my home, the procrastination goes to zero. It's mind-blowing what happens. But when I'm doing this whole travel here, travel there, travel, that shit gets exhausting, bro. You know, Reina, I genuinely think those YouTube channels that travel the world, have you seen those? Mm-hmm. They try the foods, they make jokes. I genuinely think that would be my fastest path to, let's say, 10 million followers, right? But I'm realistic. Yassine said to my face, he's like, not only would that content be the best content on YouTube, it would never get done. Because imagine Zherka jet lagged. If you ever seen me jet lag, you'll never get a camera in my face. So Yassine said all the content.
Not that bad.
Yassine said all the content that you would kill and just do great at, it involves this traveling thing that kills the spirit of Zherka, right? That energy. And so you got to be realistic. And that kind of killed me. I was like, if Reina's great energy, you get her on 10 flights in 1 month, she's not the same Reina. She's going to be cranky. Humans can... I
sleep on the flights.
You know Arab TV? That guy on Twitter? Arab can be on a jet lag 20-hour flight and still make jokes on his YouTube.
When you sleep on the flight.
No, there's some people who can just adapt. Like Sneeko told me, he's 6'3", right? Sneeko's a tall guy. He said, Zherka, I sleep on the plane. And I'm like, you're 6'3". How do you sleep on a plane? He's like this.
Are you trying to say that you're too tall? That's what you
No, I'm trying to say he's a skinny... He's clearly skinny as fuck. How the does he fit in an airplane seat? He's that skinny that he can get comfortable on an airplane. Do you sleep on planes? You do? What the chat? Am I the only one that finds it really uncomfortable? Nobody sleeps good on a plane. Right now, you're lying. If you were on a plane right now and you had to do a podcast tomorrow when you land and you get 6 hours of sleep in your hotel, you think you'd perform?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you'd half-ass that shit. That involves drugs. She's talking about drugs. That involves like cocaine or something.
No. When you have passion for something, I can work on 0 hours of sleep.
We gotta be realistic, chat. We need a home destination. And I love when you guys say Miami because I've never in my life loved the city more. There's something about Miami that...
You're saying you need a jet.
Yeah, exactly. But, chat, there's something about Miami that...
Maybe if you would start a podcast, maybe if you would do comedy shows, you could get the jet. But you want to sit down and say, I don't have a home. Oh my gosh, poor me. I don't have a home.
No, I have a million homes that I cannot pick where to land. That's the issue. Because if
all you need is Wi-Fi. Like, why are you overcomplicating things?
No, you need a good place to sleep. You need a bunch
Oh my gosh.
What the hell is she talking
Excuses, guys. This is excuses right here.
I'm saying if we choose Miami...
A good place to sleep? Bitch, what? Bitch, shut up.
You're right.
You're playing right now.
She's right. It should be Miami, chat. Because there's something about Miami that when I look at the face of Miami, it's like I'm looking at Zherka. When my first day in Miami, people are like, you are from here. I'm like, no, I'm not. But they're really saying, douchebag. That's what they're saying, douchebag.
Okay. Honestly, how long can you stay in Miami?
8 months max.
That's long.
I know, that's like a 10-year career.
Bro, we'll get you a girlfriend, married, like, you'd be set in 8 months. Like,
I think it should be Miami. I have you, Myron, Sneeko.
Everyone is here. Everyone.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing is, I've been gone for a while, so I can decide within this month what I want to do.
Fucking do it.
Yeah.
They're all saying W's in the chat if you want to see Zherka move to Miami.
Now, chat, I thought it would take a couple of months. I was giving myself the whole summer and stuff. But I don't remember the last stream that much, but this stream, something about this stream made me shift where I'm like, Raina, I really miss streaming.
Oh yeah, they're actually
chat, I really miss streaming, and I think I would do better vlogging instead of streaming, to be honest. If we lock that in, vlogging we could do, because vloggers can, Steve Will Do It said on their Bradley podcast recently, he said, when we do a vlog, you can be boring for 8 hours of it, and then ramp up the energy for certain minutes. He said that on Bradley's...
Wait, what do you mean? You can be boring on a vlog?
He said 8 hours of filming in one day, 8 hours of the vlog can be boring, and he ramps up the energy for a couple of minute segments.
And then just post up.
Together. And when he said that, I'm not trying to shit on the guy, but it was the biggest, holy f*** did that guy get rich on a few minutes. Look at someone like Aiden, he's busting hours. Chad... Being on stream for hours is not tough, but cranking views is tough. I'm not gonna lie. That you gotta put energy into that, But yeah, I did it. I thought I missed the internet. I don't miss vlogging. I miss streaming. Because today, even the regular parts, I was thinking to myself, like, I haven't seen chat has it been like 6 months or 8 months? I haven't seen a chat roll in 6 to 8 months, and I'm not trying to grow my Rumble and shit. That's another big reason is like, chat, if you ever want a platform to say you to, every chance you get, you should say Kick. And I'm not even joking. I know I'm sounding spoiled because I never streamed on Kick, let's be real. I was like Jack Doherty's, I was doing other things. But there's something about Kick where they want to be free speech, but they want to keep me banned. Like, that shit... You can't have it both ways, bro. Are you free speech or are you a cuck? And so if you ever want to comment something, you comment on every Kick post and say, trash website without Zherka, and as soon as they unban me, I'll never go live. Because, Raina, I know, how awesome would it be if today we were on Kick?
Yeah.
Would have been, I had the fastest chat on Kick. This is pretty good, but you should have seen it.
I remember.
And you know what's crazy? You know how God wants it? God's like, you had Kick for a year, you went live twice. Fuck you, get off Kick. That's how the world is. I had Kick for a year, I went live twice. That's mind-boggling. You know what I mean? That is some spoiled energy with me there. I also had a monkey on my back. Like, Zherka, you got to do 30 podcasts in 30 days. Okay, how do we do that? Here's some cocaine. Oh my God, this is going to take... I'm glad I did it, but...
That's so doable, Zherka.
What, doing 30 days of cocaine?
I said 30 podcasts in 30 days. It's so doable.
This chat, if you put a webcam in their room, I've hosted my viewers before. I said, go talk on webcam. They all freeze like little girls. And they can't talk, and they freeze up for 2 hours, and then they rage quit. Everyone I've ever hosted in my chat humiliated themselves when I said, go live so I can help you. I'm telling you right now, everyone's saying, Zherka, you have an easy path. You do it for 5 minutes, see if you can last. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I got to get in the podcast game because, first of all, the game is dead. The game is dead. It's garbage.
Yeah.
The podcast game is garbage.
Right now, I don't watch really any podcasts besides Nelk sometimes. And yeah, it's like when I'm bored or like eating a meal
I like
alone.
Nelk. Something about Nelk, I've always found them funny. I've always found...
with Nelk.
Even their dry humor, I really find it funny, like when they're pranking someone.
Yes.
Even Salim, right? I find Salim really funny, which when other YouTubers do the dry thing, I can't stand it.
Yeah.
But they get away with it.
They're funny.
Yeah, Nelk deserves their success. Steve will do it. He worked hard. He was like killing his liver for that shit. But you also got to look at Steve will do it. Like, he promoted gambling 3 times, and he got permanently banned off YouTube. And he got traumatized off that. They literally...
He has like PTSD.
Yeah, he talks about that.
Yeah.
And in my head, it's a karmic link to the gambling, which I'm not saying he's a bad guy for that. I'm saying it is linked. I said to Vitaly, bro, it's great catching pedos, but there's a humiliation ritual that you're doing on the pedophile that, f that guy, he's guilty. But that humiliation of you humiliating another human as the rehabilitation or whatever, that is never free. I've humiliated bad people, and I've always gotten some kind of bad return. If you're ever teaching someone a lesson the hard way, but you're doing it out of some humiliation against their existence, for some reason that goes very punished.
And like showing it to the world.
Yeah. So I predicted Vitaly will be in, well, I said a lot worse.
Where's Vitaly now? What is he up to?
He's in prison for the next 15 years.
Wait, you're lying.
Yeah. He got the karma. And I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm saying...
Wait, chat, is Vitaly in jail right now?
He's in the Filipino jail, yeah.
No, he's...
They're saying something about...
He's in jail?
Yeah, 18 months minimum, but 15 years maximum.
I haven't heard of Vitaly in a minute.
He around with some security guards in Philippines recently, a few months ago, 6 months ago, and he's the first human in history to get this massive of a sentence. Well, he hasn't been charged fully yet with it, but...
What do you mean he f***ed around with security guards? Like he fought... like he fought them?
No, he's just kind of like yanking their pants and doing...
pranks.
Yeah.
Doing pranks in Thailand.
He would never would have... Yeah, that... in Philippines. He never thought that it would go that severe, but I remember watching the video, and I said, if my intuition's correct...
They're saying that they're making an example out of him?
Yeah, a lot of these chatters are going to tell you, because of Johnny Somali. Have you heard of Johnny Somali doing the pranks in Korea? No. Kid is doing pranks in Korea and disrespecting the culture, and then they're making an example of him. Everyone on the internet thinks that's what's happening to Vitaly. They watched Johnny Somali, and Philippines said, no, Vitaly's been pranking for over 15 years. How come it's never been this bad? Because it's karmically linked. You cannot, as evil as those pedos are, you cannot humiliate a human and expect and make millions of dollars off that and walk away from it. It's never in history happened, right? I'm telling you, it's never.
Even if they're pedophiles.
The only
the worst people ever.
Here's someone who did get away with it karmically. I believe they got away with it. Chris Hansen. Because it was more of a informative thing. You know, it wasn't a humiliation type thing. It wasn't. Yeah. That's what I think I think Chris Hansen.
I'm not gonna lie, when I would see the streams that he was doing, like the catching a pedo stream, whatever, sometimes I would kind of cringe out because it's like he's reading a chat to see like, well, what should I do? It's like, this is a real up situation. Like, yeah. I think and you're kind of bring, I don't know. I think
weird. I always laughed. But I found it weird that it felt like the Roman Empire, who throws mentally up people to lions. That's what I felt like I was watching. And I remember thinking, I'm like, okay, as bad as this is, karmically, Vitaly can't get hurt that bad. But when I found out how much Vitaly's making, which is the most mind-blowing amount of money for the kick deals, for that kind of content, I said, oh, he's tremendously benefiting. This is, anytime there's energy, which money, like, think of Diddy. He got maximum dollars in his lifetime for the maximum sentence. That's karmically linked with energy. That's why when you're given a lot of money...
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
When you're given a lot of money, chat, in the world, and your moral character doesn't develop, horrific shit will happen to you. Or, like, Steve will do it. He's super rich, and at the peak of his richness, he promoted gambling. So guess what happened? PTSD for the rest of his life, banned off YouTube for the rest of his life. When I look at Steve will do it, I see someone who, he has the face of someone who, from Vietnam, like he saw some shit in Vietnam, like a war zone. Like you look at Steve will do it, and it's like all those 10 years of gains, but
taken in like a second.
And reversed.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, chat, and that's why I took a long break. I was like, karmically, I want to be on the right path here. I can always return. It's fucking entertainment. But yeah, I did a lot of my homework.
And that's why I always say I don't want to make fun of people. I don't want to be mean. I just want to be peaceful.
No, you can make fun of people, but
create
if you ever
content that helps others.
making $20 million, getting some sick person to feel so, that those things cannot go together. When you're in a big up in life, you have to ride the wave the correct way. So if I could talk to Vitaly right now, I'd be like, bro, the day you're out of jail, Vitaly thinks he's going to come back and do that kind of content again. Because he'll say, Zherka, why are you defending the pedos? I'm like, no, they're weirdos. But I'm telling you, you have so much success that you can do other content. You know, or you can catch them in an informative way, like Chris Hansen. Like, Vitaly's too funny to do that. He's a really funny guy. Like his Russian questions, and Vitaly showed me a lot of love, so I love the guy to death. Even when I was just coming up, he was like, you know.
Well, I hope he's okay and he gets out soon.
Well, chat, they're saying 15 years for Vitaly, but it's probably going to be 18 months. And people are saying the realistic answer is like 5 years. That's huge. He's 37 years old. 5 years of 37.
He's 37?
36, something like that, yeah. Yeah, that blew me away. I'm like, he looks younger. But, yeah, free Vitaly, man. That's why I really like, you know, as much as it sounds, you know, Kai Sennett, he actually has a lot of clean karma. He's been on a perpetual...
What frequencies get you inspired? What makes people move to make money? Why am I lazy about starting up a channel?
It's always the vision of your future. You fantasize about your future, and I'll go in depth here. You fantasize about your future in depth, right? And here, let me just put this here. I'm just tired of looking at that. Oh, fuck. Sorry. Yeah, here we go. When you are fantasizing about your future, the reason you're not active and mobilized and doing stuff is because it's in the future. In your 2D images, the stream of images in your brain that you can't see, but I swear you felt it. You swear you felt it, right? You're in this 3D world. Your mind is shooting these 2D images of the future. It's not going to mobilize you because it's in the future. All you have to do is the meditative attention awareness activity that's for thousands of years been studied and trained, and it's very difficult to do when you are used to iPhones and stuff. It's very easy when you're just out the birth as tabula rasa, right? Bring the focus into the now. If you can see your future self, if you can visualize, if you have techniques to visualize of your future life in the now, where you heard someone out there say something that's from the future, but it's in the now, immediately you want to move, walk, work out, do something, and you go, how long is this going to last? As long as you put the attention on it. This is what in the ancient temple sciences, in the ancient initiation practices, the number one thing before they went through any kind of Gnostic experience, any kind of like, oh my God, I spoke to God experience, they were taught to that 0 point of attention, to focus on it. And this focus, here, I'll tell you how tough it is for the average man, okay? To bring the future into the now is, for 10 years I studied this, and it'll make sense when it has to make sense. Here's how a lot of, am I yapping, or should we get a little esoteric in this bitch? Okay? One of the oldest esoteric practices for meditation for these ADHD brains. Back then, they were more clairvoyant with less intelligence, which wasn't a bad thing, right? It's just we traded it off. And by what I mean by that is that death was closer to sleep. Yeah, it wasn't like this whole I woke up, I don't remember my dreams thing, right? Yeah, they could literally see stuffs and sprites and everything in the forest, right? And we still see those sprites and spirits. For example, we don't have the clairvoyant vision to see sprites and spirits, energies around us that are not harmful. They're just around us, but it always finds a way to find us. Like, look at this. Who are these little guys? Yeah, even when we lost our clairvoyant abilities, these sprites and little beings find a way to communicate with us through the digital medium. That's Squirtle. Everyone knows who Squirtle is. We know his temperament. We know his attitude. We know what he likes to eat. We know, how does everyone here who's not even a fan know who the fuck Squirtle is, what he's about? Pikachu. These characters are not created by man. Man is just the portal that opens, that lets these characters pour through. That, yes, fantasy is bigger than reality. It's more real than reality. But I'm not going to say that to like schizophrenics and people who are that level of clairvoyant. I'm not going to say that to them. I'm not going to like reinforce any bad behavior. But I'm saying these little spirits find a way to come out. And that's why your nephew and you have this affinity for Pikachu. You get it? That it's not just a picture on the screen, because nobody created Pikachu. No one thought of Pikachu. How the did one man sit down and draw Pikachu and it's like, hey, he's going to be yellow, he's going to be... You understand that nothing comes from us. We don't create anything. We allow the creation into this world. That's what we're here to do. And so these little beings have a way of communicating with us. It's very strange, but they're around our kids all day. It's not an evil thing. It's not, it's whatever. And in the ancient times, they knew this. They had to hide all this in the Vatican archives, right? I'm the first ever broadcaster to say this. I don't want to scare you guys, but it's everywhere. It's in the movie Avatar with the tree of Awa, right? This stuff is, a lot of fantasy stuff is real. It takes on different shapes and forms when we're bringing it into this medium, but they definitely go a certain path. They become a certain thing. Some of them are evil, 100%, right? Just think of, where was I going with this? Oh, right. Okay, I feel like I should be selling this though, but, because this was in a different project I was working on that I stopped working on, but, okay, one of the oldest spiritual practices ever is focus on this lighter, but I'm going to make it tough. I'm going to take you into your super sensible senses. Focus on it without music, without your phone, without anything, in an empty room, right? Turn the light on and just focus on this lighter for 5 minutes. Go. You can't do it. No human today can do this. And the guys who do make it through the practice, I'll call them more intelligent, but there's something else that's making these guys do this. This spiritual practice is so powerful because after 5 minutes, you actually start to notice things you've never noticed on this simple ass lighter. And that's a perfect way of your first 5 minutes of the day is honing in on focus. That when you get good at this, it doesn't increase. Yeah, someone said I already lost. Yeah, I get it, bro. I get it. That they can't. That's why they want your attention with the apple, right? With the black mirrors. They don't want you to have this power. But once you can do 5 minutes of this, you don't increase it to 10 minutes. You don't increase it to 20 minutes. You don't do any of that. You do it with other objects, and eventually you do it with your PowerPoint. And that's when you become a genius. When you can actually look at your PowerPoint project and say, okay, I'm going to focus for 5 minutes. I'm going to put all the content on the screen, all the topics. And that's the first time you go, that's how we're meant to use our brains. We're not supposed to think. We're supposed to wait until it comes out of us like taking a shit. And just let it come out. Don't force it, right? I don't want to do it. Like, my bad for the graphic imagery, right? I don't want to be I don't believe in toilet humor. I think it's low brow. But I'm telling you guys this. If you don't master the elements of thinking, what is thinking? It's telling you what it is. What is feeling? It's telling you if you agree with something or not, which is thinking is air. Feeling is water. Intuition. This is the one that makes you a billionaire. The intuitive faculty we all have. This is fire. This is the tough one. This one comes after attention, right? And then earth is sensation when we feel it, which is usually like goosebumps or stuff, right? Something earthy, something that grounds you, right? Once you understand, oh my God, there's 4 different colors. There's 4 different elements in my thinking. It's not all thinking, but it's all being sensed. It's all before the super sensible, but it all feels, oh wow, does it feel or does it think? When you can divide these, like my students do, you can legit work on projects where you go, you know what? That was the best stream I've ever done. That was Zherka. I put 1 hour of focus in that stream, and in 5 minutes, I got the answer I was looking for. Is this what the Taoists and the Eastern guys were meant when they said we're geniuses if we can just stop moving? Yes. Look at Tesla. Look at Einstein. Look at genius. Study genius, man. This is why you can't throw a football. You can't throw a football and observe yourself throwing a football. You cannot physically do it. You have to throw it slowly. But if you do anything fast, if you start driving, you go in automatic behavior. You cannot observe yourself. So if observing is the first step, how did you observe $1 million idea? How did you ever observe? It's always a level awareness to becoming a millionaire. It's always this new idea that pulled the other ideas that were junk and said, hey, you guys actually fit here. How do all these ideas get pulled? By fire. It's always by that new idea, which means increase awareness. How do you increase awareness? You can never increase awareness if your attention is being taken by appliances and devices. So number 1, be still. That's hard. You have nothing to do and you still don't want to do this. These activities, once you master the basics, you start thinking to yourself, one of my smartest guys, I didn't even have to bring it here. He brought it to me. One of my smartest guys is like, Zherka, I did it on my date. I'm like, no, you didn't. You would never freeze on your date like that. You're a liar. He's like, no, I went to the bathroom. I was like, what? He said, I went to the bathroom and I did it. So what'd you do? You take a shit? You take a piss? He's like, ha. No, I did it. I increased my awareness. And I'm like, are you telling me that we're talking about PowerPoints and projects and lighters and you applied it on a date? I knew what he was saying. He's saying that when he sat back down, his thoughts were better. He spoke more clear. He wasn't talking so fast that she thought he was nervous. He was more sly. He was more aware of the moment. Everything. He was blinking normally. not autonomous, like, am I supposed to blink? Am I supposed to speak? Am I supposed to laugh at her joke? And I'm like, okay, you've raised your awareness. That's brilliant. Really, I didn't really think you'd bring it into the dating place. And how men used to cheat this? Drinking, right? They would shift their level of awareness by drinking. You would find a nice happy medium, and then it always gets ruined, right? Drinking, it's not like your mind. You're not controlling that. You're going to have more shots and it's going to get worse. But there's this always happy medium of I shifted my awareness from anxiety to a different state, and that's all you need. And people act like this is a Super Saiyan transformation. This is so subtle, right? This is so subtle. That's why if you have a good start on a date, it's usually a good finish, right? It's not like things that are alike actually attract each other. It's not this opposites attract shit that you're taught. No, things that are alike actually can attract each other. You just have to know. Sorry, I read something really. I thought this guy said, "You mean he realized women are?" I would say it's centering yourself, right? And now, how many times you center yourself where you do it? Be honest. And how many times are you forced to do it? Because when you're forced to do it, it's very different, right? As soon as you center yourself with your own eye, everything starts going correct for you. This is what ritual is. This is how people do rituals. This is why people have pre-football game rituals, and they don't know why it works, but I just feel better when I do it, man. This is what it is. It's a elevation of consciousness. And people are wondering, like, wait, so does that mean every day? Every goddamn day of your life. Every single day of your life, you should ask yourself, am I conscious right now? Am I? Oh no, I've been watching Zherka for 5 hours. I was unconscious. When you observe yourself, do not change. Just observe yourself for a month. It's so much fun. When you only observe yourself, you start getting disgusted. If you start to change things and nitpick, immediately you're going to go back to being a loser. But if you observe for a month, you'll be disgusted for 10 years. Like, it's huge. If you observe for a minute and then try to change something, immediately elastic band snaps back and you f up, right? And that's really the power of a sober mind, right? Now, I'm not preaching always be sober, right? I don't do that Christian. I know a lot of you guys, when you tell a human being always be sober, then they, for some reason, the elastic band snaps on them. It's like bad advice, you know? Just be aware, right? I'm not putting any tension on it, right? Yeah, have a couple of drinks at a party, but, like, you know, don't lose your awareness to elevate your awareness to, hey, I'm tipsy and funny now, and then you lose it. Because if you find out how to be funny when you're tipsy, you can only be tipsy for this much, and then you have to drink more. So it's a losing battle. If you find out how to be funny while you raise your own awareness, you're funny for life. You take 5 minutes in the bathroom of you just, nothing's happening. Okay, well, Zherka said there's a timer to this shit, so let's try 5 minutes. I wonder if she thinks I'm doing something else. Maybe she thinks I'm doing blow, and I'm no, it's just a bathroom. There's like a lineup. And what if she thinks I'm shitting? What if she thinks I'm pissing my pants? What if she... Relax, bro. Have that 5 minutes of silence. Go sit back down. Anything you sit back down to, you'll dominate. The thinking mind is not going to save you. Okay? You guys are Westerners. So... Oh, yeah. Anyways, where I started from this is, if you can paint those images, I know for some of you guys it's easier than others, but if you guys can paint those images in the now, you will be a lot more active, right? And never get active with, I'm going to do so much today. Nope. Do one thing, and it'll always get done. Then do the other. Then do the other. Then do the other. And a good practice for this is, when you write it down on paper, write down that first thing you're supposed to do, very dark. The second thing, lighter. The third thing, lighter so you can barely see the writing. The fourth thing with the pencil, so light you can't even see it at all, right? And then that solidifies in the brain way more when you add energy to the writing, that this one has to be done. This one can be done, right? But this is the energy you want to do it in, right? This is so much smoother This is so much better. This is Mozart, right? I'm stealing now. This is how you want to get your day done. If you write everything hard and put energy into all of it, bam, 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 you're building up the shadow of it. What if I can't do it, right? Anytime you're building up a shadow of something, it's going to snap back and you up, right? And, for a lot of years, I teach you guys how to go fast, but if you're already winning in life, if you got a paycheck and stuff, then I can't teach you to go faster, right? I can only teach you how to, hey, let's manage the sales, bro. That's better. Okay. Have you noticed all coming out of unconscious autonomous behavior, all of that depression behavior, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to shower, I'm not going to read, I'm not going to write, I'm not going to go to school, all that depression behavior, if you notice what alleviates depression, no one can actually articulate what the feeling of coming out of depression feels like, right? Shifting that state, and it's coming into this consciousness of a new perspective. That's why I say you don't have to believe the perspective that I prescribe you, but just seeing a different angle will help you get out of that confusion. Like, there's a lot of people confused in the spiritual game, the religious game, the theological game, and they're all and they're asking the right questions. They're asking the question of this question was great by him. It was why, this question I read asked, why do humans do rituals? Like, why does the church and the mosque, and why do humans have rites and rituals? And there's people like Nick Fuentes who, don't get me wrong, I think he's a genius, but he sounds when he talks about rituals, because he's so materialistic in his perspective that he says, oh, we just do rituals to do them. It's just tradition. We just do them to do them. And it's like, what? They're that specific of the priest going around the thing and lighting the thing, and then they're so specific. What do you mean this is just tradition? Are they just playing make-believe? But once you hang around the esoteric circles and groups, you get the perspective of, most mythologies, whether demonic or not, were real, and humans were clairvoyant, where sleep wasn't that far from death. They were perceiving these realities. They were seeing this Mount Olympus, and they were seeing this shit, and they were communicating with these things. That's what schizophrenics are, is they're clairvoyant, right? That's what a schizophrenic is. Not that it's a good thing, right? It's the worst time in history to be that. But once you understand this perspective, you stop being confused of why the church and spiritual leaders have rituals and these kinds of practices. Now, when you stop being confused, you start to believe. Once you have faith, then your life goes great. But do you see how you cannot go there with Nick or Sneeko's perspective of, they just do rituals because it's tradition. It's so like, when Nick, Sneeko, and when people like this speak about ritual, what they're really saying is, I only believe in the eyes wide shut rituals being evil, not ours being good. Ours is just tradition. And they try and loop in, they try and go into a million different paragraphs of, actually, this is the real based answer. But it's like, dude, deep down, you don't believe that there's anything in the air. You don't believe that there's anything in the air. You don't have a basis to believe this stuff, right? Because saying my book told me is never good enough for the human, believe it or not. They like to pretend. That's why most spiritual people pretend. But when you look into spirit science, when you look at the esoteric, when you look at history with the right lens, you go, wait a minute, so Zherka, those rituals they're doing to those priests right now, those rituals are 100% just going through the motions, but he knows that those motions are doing something in the invisible realm. He knows something's happening because he's read for thousands of years. This is what they did when they were clairvoyant, when they did see these spirits and stuff like that, when humans were more in between clairvoyance and their eye or their intelligence. And so, what am I trying to say with all this? I'm trying to say me changing your perspective on why rituals are done. The only time you've ever heard a streamer talk about this, not even Alex Jones, bro, because they don't read. They don't read this stuff. They're like in my group, but I'm doing all the hard work. I'm doing the whole project, and I'm doing it for fun, bro. Yeah, I'm interested. But yeah, me changing your perspective on this stuff increases your level of faith. Because watching Nick and political people all day is not enough. It's not enough. It's all fake. It's all bullshit. I'm not saying fake like, oh, he's not actually a Christian. I'm saying they don't explain. For years I watched Sneakos and Nicks, and they don't explain to me what's happening during a ritual. They just say, that's tradition. That's tradition. And so I go through all these books, and you know what's the worst thing? At the end, they say, this is what, yeah, it's very shallow. It's exactly the word it is. They're shallow thinkers when it comes to the esoteric. And they always say this to me, Zherka, you're too into that stuff. It sounds like you're evil. Not that they've said that to me, but I have a feeling that, like, if they saw the books I'm reading, they'd be like, I don't know about this, you know? I read literally everything, plus, you know, I read the Bible like 7 years ago, but I don't know about that book. And it's like, bro, you literally are reading goy slop all day, and you're telling me the books I read is, you're going too far, Zherka. You're looking like the crazy old man on the internet. And obviously I'm addressing something that, like, we talked about maybe 5 months ago. So it's like, it's kind of late, but I just want to put it out there of what pulls a man out of depression, because they always talk about grief and depression, and Sneeko, Nick, Andrew Tate, everyone has like they talk around it without the cure. And the cure is changing perspective, right? Just like when you find out how to kick a ball in a net, you go, oh, that's the part of the foot I should hit it with. That change of perspective gets you out of the gloomy feeling that you're a bad football player, right? Why I link it to spirituality is because I think there's nothing more important than strengthening your faith every day, okay? And I don't think politics all day with Nick and Sneeko, as much as I support these guys, I want you guys to follow these guys, it's too much, bro. I feel like all of Twitter has become politics. You know how happy I was when Nick linked up with Aiden? I said, finally I get to laugh. This is how you convert people, through laughter. I don't think, no one got converted into the right, to join the right, without laughing into it first. That's 100% the most effective way. That's why Trump is so effective. And I feel like, when people attack me for, you're pushing Sneeko too much into like comedy and stuff, and he will be more censored, and no, he won't. And number two, good. I'm tired of Sneeko talking about the all day. I want him to be funnier, to bring more people to Nick and me. That's what I want from Myron, to bring people to me. Nick to bring people to me, and I bring to them, and that's how we move. You've become a worse version of yourself. Go to your YouTube and unsubscribe from every single account, even the ones that make you happy. Unsubscribe from all that. Why? Some stuff is cool. Unsubscribe from everything. Unfollow everyone who reminds you of your current state of self. Unfollow all of them. Trust me when I say you don't even know these people. Unfollow all of them. So when you grab your phone in the morning, you look at it, you go, oh, this is not my phone because it doesn't have the subscriptions. Oh, it is mine. I just unfollowed everyone. And you will naturally just find yourself again. You'll intuitively find the stuff that fulfills your thinking capacity, fulfills your feeling and music and that kind of stuff. And then your will and your action that I want to be Zherka style. Let's get it moving. Let's shit like that. There's a lot of layers of fake on top of you. A lot of music you listen to, a lot of shit you watch, a lot of stuff is not even you. And it'll never be you. That's why many rapper trends have come and gone. And then one day the music's just cringe and corny in your car. And you're like, oh shit, I never even liked this music. It was just the trend. Well, if you're on a continuous series of trends, you'll never know yourself. So if you're going to have a phone and destroy your life in today's day and age, clean it out. When your phone is always empty, it just feels like a stranger's phone. It's not subscribed to anything. It's not with anyone. You will naturally go to the things that are healthy, the stuff that your soul architecture needs. And you'll stay on that stuff. Then, you can go back to your old subscriptions just to see the difference. And you'll see the two states of yourself. And which one's the real you and which one is in an unconscious dream of trend after trend after trend. And man, I get that some people ride trends and, make a bunch of success off that. But let's look at the 99.9% that don't. The fuck are they doing riding trends, This world only makes sense from the inside out. And you're trained to open your eyes and look at the outside. The outside tells you, I should feel depressed because this happened to me. And the outside hitting you in the world of reflections, that's not how this works, bro. It's your inner world inside of you that gets pushed and mirrored out into the world. And you don't have to sit down and think about this for a few hours. Be who you are without the layers of trends. Now, some trends will come and be fun and stuff, but you'll come and use it. You'll come, use that song, dance, enjoy it, but you won't let it bleed into your identity. You're not going to let it waste your time with all that. There's certain genres of music that link you to friends that you don't really know these guys unless it's for the music, right? These guys are kind of just there. And you'll start seeing that these trend friends you have are kind of a huge waste of time. And I'm never the guy who, I won't dab up an old homie. Like, what the fuck? If I see an old homie, I might chill with him 12 hours. I've never dished a homie in my life. But I've never not sat down with them and said, hey, man, are we wasting our life? Because it feels like we're just smoking weed here for 2-3 years. And the homie will look at me like, give me one of these. Yeah, probably. It's like, what the fuck? Someone got to take control of this shit, man. What do you mean, probably? But you don't argue. You smoke. And then you say, I think I'll never see this dude again. Yeah. He's in a different place, And I got to get my shit moving. Right? I hate when people say everyone's going through suffering. No, it's not true. Actually, that's really bad advice. And if we look at the mystical answer, it's incorrect. There's different levels to man. There's 4 different levels, and they don't all suffer the same. A lot of people are closer to that moksha state of liberation. And, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but there's plenty of people on earth who suffer much less. And as soon as you know that, your first instinct's going to be like, no, fuck you, Zherka. We all suffer the same. I've seen it in every quote on every Twitter, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, that's not true. If that was true, then what are you really saying? And have you thought it through? Because what you're saying is we all suffer the same. You're saying we're stuck, which is wrong. It's totally wrong. Now, as soon as I say, hey, there's man A, B, C, and D. Man A suffers the least, man D the most. Your first instinct will be, fuck, that's so unfair. Zherka, the world's so unfair. No, I need a more positive outlook. Bro, I thought you were more optimistic. And I'll be like, yo, check this out, man. You can go to his level. And when you're at his level, you'll be looking around in the world and realizing, oh shit, there's man D, there's man C, there's man B, and here I am, man A. That as soon as you see like, oh, wait a minute, it's not everyone suffering the same. It's like a video game. As soon as you see that, you go, oh shit, it's up to me to level it up. Now that is the butter of life, where you go, oh, I'm choosing this level, this lower level. They all say the same shit. If you kind of dig into their psyche, they say, yeah, I chose this place. I chose this place that I'm suffering at. For most of the cases, right? And you got to remember, all the suffering you do in this world is actual soul architecture. It's really, really good for your evolution. I mean, it's essential to your evolution. And this world is not here to punish you. You can get away with things that you do wrong. You have before. It's not right. But this world is here to teach you lessons that you desperately want, because you don't desperately want that job or that woman, or that you want liberation from this phony self. You are in a phony state of self, and you need to be shaken. I'm put on earth to wake people up. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to keep falling back asleep, and I'm going to keep waking you up. And then when you go up and I get your emails of, yo, my life is so much better, blah, 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 that's you waking me back up. You see that it's still a team effort in this world. I'm a big solo player, but the world's not solo. So no, I'm not even solo. Nobody is solo. And you need to engage more with who you are deep down. Where the fuck are you headed if you're riding someone else's trend? Probably the same place that you're at now. Nowhere. What do you even gain? You know, I'll never understand a hater, but I'll never bash one either. Every day you'll have someone tell you you can't do something, and they're actually right. You can't do shit. Like, think about it. You're listening to this, what I'm saying right now, because it has that hook you like. Someone told me I can't do something. The whole motivational video that you're about to see, where the guy says, people tell you can't do something, well, guess what? I'll tell you different. All of this obsession you have with this information, this motivation, everything you feel right now, you're about to get the advice from the fucking Twitter clip. You want it, but it's all based off the premise of you giving a fuck what someone thinks. It's like when people say, I did it to prove them wrong. That's a horrible reason. Don't you have family? Don't you have people to take care of? You're doing it to prove people wrong? It was like me when I was really, really into it in the beginning, and I'm like, that's mental. That's a horrible reason to get shit done. Like, I did it to tell everyone to fuck off. And it's like, okay, now what? You did that. You know, that's a horrible reason. If you have fantasies of vengeance, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I can't get over these fantasies of just like pulling up one day with a suitcase of money to my old boss's work. And it's like, why do they occupy that much space in your mind? Why am I the one talking about this when I was worse than you? I was all about getting vengeance. And now I'll run into, like, you ever run into an ex and realize the gayest fucking thing you could do on earth is try and look cool? Like, look what you're missing out, bitch. That's the gayest thing on earth you could do. That's a human with a soul. Say hi. You're trying to look like fucking Bruce Wayne. You're not Bruce Wayne. Like the Joker. You know what I love about me? And I got 80 years to figure that one out. I want to live 80 years, I've decided. Yeah. Yeah, 80. Now check this out. Oh, he said check this out. He said the word, check this out. Check this out. Here's the truth. Don't do it for your haters, bro. Don't do it for your lovers, bro. Do it because that's what you came to Earth to do. Whoa. You ever think of the things you do day to day? Why do you do them? Like, why does man shower every morning? Why does a man have to shower every morning? Like, what is the spiritual lesson here? And it's like, bro, we shower physically to remind ourselves that it's not just this physical body that needs washing. We need moral progression as we get older. And that doesn't mean writing nice things on Twitter. Like, a lot of people think being a nice guy is like moral progression. Dude, nice guys are suffering the most. Have you ever been nice with power? Have you ever been nice, but also, hey, don't push it? That's a true nice guy. That man is doing it out of freedom. But nice guys are doing it out of fear. And fear is suppressed hate. In this world, they love to say, yo, we're all gonna make it. No, not everyone. Only the courageous make it. I'm the most courageous.
How bored? You must be super bored, though. You must be.
Ready?